Why is Big Ben named so? Big Ben is an iconic building in the UK, renowned and recognizable worldwide. Yet, many people wonder why this massive clock tower is called Big Ben, a name that seems rather rustic. The name Big Ben actually has a poignant love story behind it, one that has captivated people for many years. In 1840, when the British Parliament building was being rebuilt, the MPs proposed constructing a large clock on it. Given London's world-famous Greenwich Observatory, the clock would broadcast Greenwich Mean Time with its resounding chimes, a source of immense pride for the British people. The task of designing the clock tower fell to architect Edmund Beckett Denison, known as Dent. However, he was troubled by an unprecedented challenge. The clock face had a diameter of 7 meters, and the hour and minute hands were over 2 meters long. Additionally, the tower needed 4 clock faces. Such an enormous clock was a daunting task. While Dent hesitated, his 26-year-old son, Frederick, was enthusiastic. "Let's give it a try," he said eagerly, bowing to the project planner, Sir Benjamin Hall. The Dent family is honored to serve Her Majesty. Old Dent sighed, knowing his son wanted to create a timeless masterpiece. With such an opportunity at hand, how could he refuse? Thus, the father and son moved to the construction site. Sir Benjamin Hall, moved by their dedication, also set up a tent on site to work alongside the laborers. One day, amidst the smoky, dusty construction site, a beautiful young woman appeared, wearing a noblewoman's whalebone dress, utterly out of place. Suddenly, she screamed as she nearly fainted, about to fall onto a straight steel rod. Everyone was stunned, but in a flash, Frederick caught her, injuring his arm on the rod and bleeding profusely. The young woman, shocked, quickly used her handkerchief to bandage Frederick's arm. As their eyes met, it felt as though their hearts were struck by something heavy, and the moment was like being in paradise. Sir Benjamin Hall witnessed this scene and was displeased, for the young woman was his 18-year-old daughter, Emma. At home, Hall sternly rebuked Emma, forbidding her from giving personal items to a lowly worker. But Emma paid no heed, her mind constantly replaying Frederick's bright eyes, yearning to see him again soon. The next day, Emma returned to the construction site with joy. Frederick was both surprised and excited to see her. They smiled foolishly, tasting the sweetest honey of human life. This sight infuriated Sir Benjamin Hall, who forbade Emma from returning to the site. Frederick, heartbroken, stood outside Hall's mansion in a snowstorm, unexpectedly spotting Emma on the balcony. They gazed at each other longingly, unable to be together. Frederick then had an idea. He wrapped a coin in the handkerchief Emma had given him and threw it over the mansion wall. Emma retrieved it, but Frederick waited in vain for her to reappear and left disappointed. Frederick caught a severe cold and developed a high fever, delaying the clock tower's progress. Sir Benjamin Hall, wanting the project to proceed smoothly, allowed Emma to meet Frederick again. Spring arrived, and the clock neared completion. Frederick's task was done, and Sir Benjamin Hall ordered him to stay away from Emma, threatening, "Don't go near Emma again, she's about to marry a duke." Heartbroken, Frederick turned to alcohol, while Emma defied her arranged marriage and eloped with Frederick one night. Without his son's help, old Dent fell ill and died before completing the clock. Enraged, Sir Benjamin Hall publicly announced old Dent's death in the newspapers, mocking Frederick as a coward. 3 months later, Frederick saw the news and, after much deliberation, returned to London to finish the clock, knowing he would never see Emma again. But for his family's honor, he had no choice. In October 1859, the clock was finally completed. Frederick was imprisoned, and Emma was forced to marry a nobleman for Frederick's safety. Queen Victoria was delighted with the clock tower and intended to name it Benjamin's Clock after Sir Benjamin Hall. But a minister, angered by Frederick's plight, suggested naming it Big Ben, deriving big from the British Empire on which the sun never sets. The Queen agreed, while Sir Benjamin Hall had to swallow his anger and put on a forced smile. The clock tower was known as Big Ben until 2012, when it was renamed Elizabeth Tower to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee.